What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe button for me, please. Definitely appreciate y'all for sharing these videos, liking these videos. Definitely want to say that I appreciate y'all for sharing the video and liking the video from yesterday. Hit over 1 million views, and it's just amazing. It's just a simple fact of y'all sharing and liking the video and doing y'all best, putting that video on the algorithm to spread out the truth, because it definitely is important. We'll be doing a giveaway soon, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. I'm not going to try to interrupt too much in this video, but
you're a Yale-educated attorney, and I want to get your take on what we saw happen last week, those immunity arguments before the Supreme Court, where Trump's team, his attorney, argued that a president could order the military to stage a coup and to have their political opponent assassinated and be immune from prosecution unless this theory that they were impeached and then convicted by the Senate. Do you share the view that presidents are basically above the law?
Look, Kaitlan, I think we have to be careful about imputing words into the president's attorneys that they didn't actually say. What the president's attorney said is that what the president's attorney said, Kaitlan, to be clear, is that there is a checks and balances system in our Constitution. Now, some things the president does, private acts, are liable to criminal penalties, but most of the things that the president does in their official duties, we have a system of impeachment. We have a system of checks and balances, the legislative branch that I'm a member of, the judicial branch. I did not read the president's attorneys as saying that the president could order a coup. The president's attorneys are saying that the constitutional checks and balances system would address that problem. And I think that's an important distinction.
But let me stop you right there, because I listened to this. It's John Sauer. Trump.
Already. That fast. Already trying to interrupt him. It's literally like when they asked J.D. Vance, and he's a very calm person. We've been through this, He's a very calm person. Going to get these. I'm guaranteed she's going to continue to keep interrupting because she's not getting the answer that she wants. Knowing that, you have people like J.D. Vance that, calm, respectable, and going to let you know what's really going on. But they just don't like the answers.
Attorney. And when he was asked by one of the justices if the president could order the military to stage a coup and would it count as an official act, meaning he couldn't be prosecuted for it, he said it would depend on the circumstances. I mean, what circumstances warrant a president ordering the military to stage a coup?
Well, first of all, he did say it depends on the circumstances, so that opens up a whole lot of avenue for context there. But more importantly, Kaitlan, he's just saying that would count as an official act.
But that's there are a number. That's an official act in your view too.
But could I finish the answer to the question, Kaitlan? An official act, there are a number of checks and balances in our system. There's the impeachment process. There's the budgeting authority that Congress has. There are a number of ways where Congress has a check and balance control over the President of the United States. All he's saying is that the criminal liability procedures that exist in this country don't cover the President's official acts. And by the way, how could anybody disagree with that, Kaitlan? Should Barack Obama be prosecuted for killing an American citizen via a drone strike? There are a number of examples in American history where if you apply the standard, the lawfare standard of the Biden administration against Donald Trump, it would make the presidency impossible to actually execute the law.
Yeah,
so
I know
in the name of taking down their political opponent, Kaitlan, these guys are really pushing a legal theory that I think would destroy the presidency, whether a Democrat or Republican was in charge.
Well, I don't think Jack Smith is running for office. But on what you're saying, you're basically saying that if the president orders the military to stage a coup, you believe the only remediation for that is that he can be impeached or that Congress can restrict the budget?
Well, Kaitlan, first of all, you're dealing with hypotheticals here that are completely outside the bounds of this particular situation. Donald Trump did not order a coup, despite the fact that a lot of media people say that he did on January the 6th. He encouraged people to protest peacefully. And of course, most people on January 6th did protest peacefully. What I'm saying is that you have to have some measure of liability for the official acts of presidency of the United States. And the way to create a check and balance on that system is what the Constitution prescribes here. You can't have prosecutors, many of whom, of course, are deeply embedded with the Democratic Party, trying to destroy the life of a former president who's now running for president because they think that they have a better argument for what that president should have done. You can have a political disagreement with Donald Trump, and that's totally reasonable. You shouldn't destroy the presidency in the process. Okay. And I think that's what a lot of the Biden administration Department of Justice is trying to do.
But you essentially are agreeing that...
You see how bad she feels, just for the simple fact, every time she interrupts, it's like she has this particular like tone in the way that she carries herself, all because she's not liking the answer. What he's doing right now is holding himself, calm, because you have people like her that literally, try to switch words around, try to, say, oh, well, this is said or this, what she does, I absolutely, what was it yesterday with Kristen Welker? I'm pretty sure that's her name. They have a lot in common. And usually I don't really, watch videos like this. Just for the simple fact, you have people, you have people like this. Now, I don't like them. And the way that they, speak and the way that they hold themselves. The way that they are so disrespectful and try to switch words around and try to make it seem like, JD Vance, Trump, the whole Trump administration is horrible. It's sickening to me.
Justice is trying
but you essentially are agreeing that the presidents should not be able to be prosecuted. Let me ask you something else, because as I mentioned, there is an open question of who Donald Trump will pick to be his vice presidential candidate. We just heard him talking about Marco Rubio. You're hosting a fundraiser with him in your home state of Ohio later this month. I know you say that you two haven't discussed the vice presidency directly, but you said you'd certainly be open to it if he did offer it to you. Considering that, does it give you any pause whatsoever about taking that job when you see how he treated his last vice president?
Well, Kaitlan, first of all, again, I haven't talked to Donald Trump about becoming vice president. I think it's important to support President Trump as Republicans because I think he was a good president. And I think that he made the country more prosperous. And I think he made the world more peaceful. What gives me pause, Kaitlan, is another 4 years of Biden's administration where he's opened the borders and where you have effectively a major world conflict in nearly every continent in the world.
But my question was not about President Biden. It's about President Trump.
Well, look, it's fundamentally about...
And that right there makes me mad because... that makes me mad. Like, just think about this. Anytime they do it to them, it's something. I wasn't talking about, it's that. You know what I mean? Somebody can literally be talking about the other way around. The other way around. And they expect, like, that gets on my nerves, bro. Now y'all see why I a lot of times I don't look at videos like this when you have people like her that do things like this. Oh, now we're not talking about Biden. We should. He's the president of the United States right now. We literally are messed up. The multiple videos that I put out every week has something to do with people complaining about where we are right now. The next video I'm dropping today, you literally have people that used to be Democrats or people that still, Democrats, and they're complaining about the Biden administration. But as soon as you talk about, the Biden administration, we're not talking about that right now. We're not talking, that gets on my nerves.
The question was not about President Biden. It's about President Trump.
I'm sorry.
Well, look, it's fundamentally about President Biden because if you're comparing the two records of these presidents and asking, who do I want to be president? It's very clearly that I want Donald Trump to be president. And I understand that there are a lot of things that people like you disagree that he did, but I think fundamentally he was a good president. He accomplished a lot for the country. And the question fundamentally for our country is, do we want 4 more years of Joe Biden or do we want 4 more years of the peace and prosperity of Donald Trump? That to me is an easy question.
The last time I checked, President Biden wasn't approving of the chance to hang his vice president and did not call his vice president when their life was in danger on Capitol Hill, something that Mike Pence himself has testified to. So my question is, does it give you any pause to be his vice president, given how he has treated Mike Pence?
Kaitlan, I'm extremely skeptical that Mike Pence's life was ever in danger. I think in politics, people like to really exaggerate things from time to time.
I know a lot of folks in the Democratic Party, Senator.
A lot of folks in the Democratic Party, Kaitlan, act as if January the 6th was the scariest moment of their lives. I think, look, January 6th was a bad day. It was a riot. But the idea that Donald Trump endangered anyone's lives when he told them to protest peacefully, it's just absurd. And the entire legal basis of this prosecution of Donald Trump
but they
from
were
Jack
chanting
Smith,
that they wanted to hang him.
Look, Kaitlan, did a few people say some bad things? Sure, but do we blame Donald Trump for every bad thing that's ever been said by a participant in American?
Because as soon as you do it to Kamala or Joe Biden, it's something else. We're not talking about that right now. We're not doing this. Man, there's so much stuff that we didn't seen and had to deal with because of this whole Biden administration the past 4 years. And now every time you say something wrong or every time it's this, is that, oh, Trump, he did this and Trump did that. And man, listen, nobody went complaining. Nobody went on none of that when he was in office. I don't care what nobody say. As much complaints that I hear right now, what's going on, all of that, I didn't hear none of that when he was in office. Now everybody making it seem like, oh, Trump's the bad guy. Trump did this. He did that. Man, you know how much stuff we done went through and still going through right now? You literally got Kamala at her rallies talking about what she going to fix, what she going to do, this, that, and the other, and people are cheering for her, and she's still in office. Make it make sense.
Democracy, I think that's an absurd standard. And look, Kaitlan, I know you're worried, and I think justifiably so, about
this isn't about me,
threats
Senator.
to
I'm
American.
asking questions about you and how you would feel about this.
I'm trying to answer the question. I appreciate if you let me. We know that there are threats to American democracy. I think the biggest threat to American democracy, Kaitlan, is that the Biden administration is trying to prevent Donald Trump from campaigning and taking his case to the American people, even as they hide their own candidate.
That's presiding over that case. The Biden administration is not preventing Donald Trump from campaigning. He just did two campaign events tonight.
This is a really important point, Kaitlan. Who is the number 3 person from the Biden Department of Justice who went to work for the New York prosecutor just months before he brought this case against Donald Trump? You can't have people moving from the Biden administration to prosecute Donald Trump in New York and say it has nothing to do with the Biden administration.
Exactly.
Especially when
Attorneys
the judge
go
is the
from the
Biden
Justice
administration
Department
donor.
to local DA's offices all the time. That's not that unusual. I mean, you're an attorney, you know that.
It's pretty
you probably
unusual.
have colleagues who went to Yale with you that did that.
It's pretty unusual for the number.
And she's dragging this whole Yale thing. I feel like that definitely is, trying to get up under his skin. Oh, you went to Yale, so you should. What did she say I forgot what she said when it first started, but you went to Yale, you should be. She said something. I don't want to mess, but just dragging this Yale stuff. So, it's people like this, man. Like your life has to be like something, man. I'm praying that she, pray to God, talk to God and stuff like that. Cause her life, I'm telling you, y'all, her life is, I don't know. Maybe it was high school, middle school, somebody was, but I don't know what it is. But people like this, come on. You're doing too much.
3 person in the Department of Justice to then go to the New York prosecutor's office to bring a bogus case against Donald Trump, and then to have the judge presiding over that case to be a donor to Biden-Harris. I think that's pretty unusual, Kaitlan, and really is, aside from your views or anyone else's views about Donald Trump, this is a real threat to Americans' trust in the legal system. If you look at polling, even a lot of folks who are going to vote for Joe Biden think that the lawfare against Donald Trump is bogus. We're destroying faith in the American system of law and order to try to bring down Joe Biden's political opponent. That's a threat to democracy.
It's a jury of his peers that indicted him and a jury of his peers that are in that room right now and will decide this case. Senator J.D. Vance, thank you for joining.
That's wild. You have people like her that's literally in denial and making up every excuse in the book. Every excuse in the book. It's literally sad, y'all. It's sad, and it's so crazy that you have people like her that just spread and try to it. We see what's going on. And a lot of people, like I said, they're brainwashed. They're not realizing, that you had the Biden administration, Kamala's administration, Democrats that literally give out this free stuff, talk a good game, say they're going to do this and do that. You literally have somebody, like I said, that's in office right now, but go to her rallies and say what she's going to do and what she's going to change and this, that, and the other. Where's the past 4 years? Where has that been? You know what I mean? Where has all that talk of what you're going to do, and then you have people that's literally brainwashed and literally aren't paying attention that still vote for you. You got people that are literally not paying attention whatsoever. You got people that aren't paying attention and just thinking, oh yeah, she's black. You know, they say she's black. You got people that are just following the footsteps of family members or friends. Oh, they're voting for her, so you got they paying TikTokers and YouTube influencers, you know, to spread to their subscribers. No, not even knowing that these TikTokers and YouTube, you know, influencers and Instagram is, you have all these people that don't have to worry about those things because they paid. You know, they don't have to worry about any of that. You know, but they spread lies and BS to their viewers. You know, it's sad, y'all. It's so sad on how things work, you know, and how people aren't paying attention. And that's why I say, you know, although, you know, the views are great, but at the same time, it makes me happy because y'all are spreading out, you know, the truth and getting that out there. So I definitely appreciate that from y'all. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the third video tonight, dropped after this. If y'all catching this premiere now, it'll be dropped an hour after this, but y'all already know. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.